You've seen these smooth, premium 3D animations all over TikTok, Reels and YouTube Shorts. Today, I'll show you how to create it yourself in After Effects. This lesson's actually from my full Skillshare class on viral motion graphics, where I teach editors and creators how to make their videos look premium and professionally produced. Even if you just watch this clip, you'll learn how to build a scroll-stopping 3D UI animation using shape layers and cameras, the same workflow top creators and agencies use every day. Welcome to this video and let's begin. So this video is going to be a 5x. You can see that I created a Premiere Pro project, imported the audio, created sequence, added the audio, and now I'm just cutting it. This is something that you can do in After Effects, but it's just a lot easier for me to do it in Premiere because then you can go with dynamic link, just literally one button, and then you're editing in After Effects. One thing you will notice that you cannot dynamic link the audio to After Effects. So you have to create some sort of visual layer. And in order to do that, I created text here, and now I'm renaming the sequence, and now I'm importing that in After Effects. I have a shortcut option A. You can create shortcut for yourself, and then you'll be able to do it easily. Okay, so I deleted that text because text is imported as compositions, weirdly, and then pre-composed the audio to make things easier. Command Y to create the solid white background, added the text, made sure it's a Tasker font, put it in the middle, made it darker. Now we need to find a picture of MrBeast, and kind of like this one, but then I thought it's a bit problematic to cut that out in After Effects, but then I thought I can use Photoshop, and then with a click of a button you can literally remove the background, and then you can actually import the Photoshop file into Premiere, in After Effects. So that's exactly what I did. You can see that the file format is psd.psd. Now I opened the camera raw filter, so if you go into filter, camera raw filter, you can customize the colors to make sure it has a bit more life. Now I created the camera, I created a null, connected the camera to the null, and now I'm just running a script, which is the text evo script. It's a script that helps animate the text. So you can see with the click of a button I was able to do that super easy. Now I played around with settings. The way it works is you have two keyframes, you animate things on one keyframe, and then text just becomes normal on the last keyframe. And then as you can see, I'm just playing around. I never did the blur, but now I decided to do it. Okay, and now I'm changing colors to make sure things are organized and it's easy to find. Now, I also need to find the MrBeast color codes, and as you can see them on the screen, I added a gradient, like a 4-color gradient, and that's what I tried to do in the beginning, but then you will find out that it didn't work. And so in the end, I had to use a normal gradient and just used 2 colors. And this is what we have. So I'm just playing with the null and the camera a little bit, and then eventually I create another solid. I added a fast box blur effect. For this effect, you want to make sure you have the repeat H pixels ticked off, otherwise it's not going to work, like this effect, the one I'm trying to achieve. So I added the second viewer, and now I started moving things around a little bit. Now what I'm trying to do is to put things in 3D perspective, so that when we move the camera, it doesn't just move like a one sort of piece. It moves in different ways, in different interesting ways. The text is not stuck to MrBeast. It is in different positions. And you will see the way it works in a bit. Right now what we have is I'm just changing the text a little bit. I realized one long line probably will not work best, and I think the way I've done it here worked absolutely great. You'll see the final product, you'll be surprised the way it worked. So we have the null dragging the camera closer to MrBeast, and by the way, the gradient stays 2D. The reason for that is because if we make it 3D, it's going to be like small on the screen, but but want to make sure it fills the screen at all times, so that's why I'm doing it like this. So once again, text evo to animate the text, and now we had a couple of issues with text evo. It's an issue I never had before. It's when I tried to do two animations at the same time, so I had to go back and forth a little bit with this, but then we were able to solve it and everything worked great. Okay, now we're creating an adjustment layer, and it's an effect that I wanted to try. It's an invert effect. It's something I've seen while researching these videos, but it's not something that I decided to go eventually because it didn't look good. So eventually it's a black solid, which is 2D, and I'm putting MrBeast above it, and then the black solid above everything else. And this is something I try to experiment as well. There are some very interesting videos like these when the text moves around, but then realized if it's just the text itself, yeah, it might look great, but then as you can see on the screen, whatever this is, it didn't look good, so I just decided to go back and not experiment. So right now I need to separate MrBeast from the background, and that's what I tried to do in the very beginning, but then I realized maybe we shouldn't separate him and we should just hide him on the background. Let's break it down. I was trying to make it perfect so you can see me going back and forth like 100 times. Now I decided to rename things a little bit and create another gradient. I installed this flow script, or sort of like extension, which worked great, but then eventually I decided to work mostly with pressing F9 and customizing the easiness, or basically easing in, easing out manually myself, like you are seeing right now on the screen. It's just a little bit easier for me this way. I'm still not used to the flow, something I need to work on to get used to. Then decided to get some inspiration, went on Instagram, found a person that we did the previous video with. I wasn't quite sure what I was trying to do, but then once I understood what I was trying to do, things became a lot easier. Basically what we're doing right now is we have a solid with a gradient, and I'm trying to achieve like a specific certain effect where it's as if you are painting the screen with these gradients, and whatever that is, it's going to cover the background. And we're going to separate the text, the black background, and then we'll have the new foreground. So something like this. Pretty interesting effect. Have never done it before, but yeah, turned out to be pretty good. Right now we just need to animate the linear wipe, and first of all, when you apply this effect, it goes from left to right, and I had to change the direction so that it goes from top to the bottom. And then once I do it for one of the gradients, I can do it for other gradients as well. I will just need to copy and paste, and you will see that one of the gradients will be going the opposite direction. So you can see these are going all down, but you kind of need to separate them so that one goes down, the other goes up, and then it goes down again. And exactly. So for that, we just need to change the direction and change the timings so that we have left, middle, and then right. And I'm always going back and forth to see exactly what's happening. Sometimes you can get so caught up into editing that you just don't see what's happening, so that's why I have to go back and forth to see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, moving further, 2024, putting it over here, and I thought it would be so interesting to track matte the 2024 to one of the gradients so that the gradient reveals it. And so I just did a track matte, that's it. And you can see that once I made these layers 3D, they kind of moved, so I had to move them around, and yeah, just going back and forth, a little bit crazy, totally understand, but yeah, this video took me like 1 hour and 40 minutes to do this portion. I had to go and do things a little bit creative with the gradients that were on the right and on the left, because it's just, I could probably do it with the camera and moving them, but then I decided to make things a little bit easier and then change the position so that they disappear when I zoom in, and just made things a little bit smoother with the graph editor. Okay, and I had to go with ChatGPT a little bit. Oh yes, here I just wanted to have a confirmation that what ChatGPT helped me to create is actually true, and so I made sure that he found an article. Then I took a screenshot of that, put it right over here, and now we just need to track mat it. So I'm creating a big shape, a big square, making sure it is solid and it's not just the so it's a solid fill, not just a stroke, and then connecting, or say, track matting. And then I'm creating another shape, making sure it is multiplied. The way you can switch between different blending modes is pressing Shift and plus, and then you'll be able to see whichever works best. In this case, multiply worked great. Now we just need to animate the linear wipe to make sure it is highlighting the $473 million. Making sure I'm naming things correctly as well. And then, of course, the timeline looks a little bit messy. I'll have to clean that up in a bit. So this is what we have. Now we also need to make it 3D, put it behind the gradients on the right and the left. At first I wanted to move from the left, but then eventually we are going to create a very, very cool animation. So eventually I decided to literally just animate the size and the roundness of the rectangle path to make it smaller, so that as if it's a ball that's just coming from the bottom, then appearing and, you know, growing in size. Looks super, super cool.
This is just one lesson from my full Skillshare class on premium viral motion graphics and After Effects, where I go deeper into creating scroll-stopping 3D UI-inspired animations for TikTok, Reels, and YouTube Shorts. If you want to keep learning from me, there is a free 30-day trial to Skillshare linked below. No prepayment, just full access. Click the link, start learning, and I'll see you inside the full class.